You first came here as an intern in
1978.
Wow.
Yes.
For President Carter.
For President Carter.
But it was a man's world.
It was a total man's world.
Anita Dunn was one of the first women in presidential politics to change that, eventually landing in the inner circle of two winning campaigns and two administrations, President Obama and now President Biden. As a junior staffer in 1984 on John Glenn's campaign, she set a high bar for herself.
I made the decision that the next time I wanted to work on a presidential campaign, I was going to be at the table. So I didn't work on campaigns until I was at a point where that's where my seat was.
Dunn earned that seat by working as a congressional aide, then political consultant for countless Democratic congressional campaigns, though it was hard to find work during the 1996 election when she was pregnant.
Is it true that really only female candidates would hire you?
I would say if you look at who hired me that year, yes, that is quite true. Somebody would call me and say, I've got this candidate in town, I want to bring them over to meet you. And I'd be coming down the stairs in my most pregnant self, and I could just watch the candidate's face like,
and then you didn't get the job?
And I wouldn't get hired, of course not. I wanted people to know I was a mom. I talked openly about I'm not going to be in or I can't be on that call because...
That was pretty risky back then.
But I felt it was important. If you have senior women who are openly talking about their children and the time they're going to set aside for their children and the parameters of their relationships, like I'm leaving the office every day at this time for pick up at daycare, it gives other women permission.
It was intentional.
It was quite intentional, yes.
Oh, hello, lady.
Now, many of the women she's surrounded by in the Biden White House have small children.
Yes.
She is known for having an open-door policy.
I'm not a big believer in mentorship, although I'm happy to mentor anybody who wants to walk through my door and get some advice. I'm a huge believer in sponsorship.
What's the difference?
Oh, the difference is huge, Dana. Mentorship is, I'm happy to give you advice, I'm happy to be your sounding board, I'm happy to be your wailing wall when things don't go well. But sponsorship is a very active role in somebody's career. It's not just, I'm going to give you advice, but I'm going to actively promote you.
Her sponsors were men, since there were so few women. This is a recommendation letter written some 45 years ago by her first White House boss, Carter Chief of Staff Hamilton Jordan. Dunn is widely credited for turning around the Biden campaign during the 2020 primaries after brutal losses in Iowa and New Hampshire.
At the end of the day, it's about setting priorities and not being scared to make decisions. People in politics who are scared to make decisions are losing campaign managers and losing operatives.
She says she only joined this administration temporarily to help with the COVID crisis and is soon leaving.
My first ambition was to be a sportscaster.
Really?
Yes.
She may not have lived that dream.
I'm a very competitive person, Dana, so I ended up in politics.
But she did okay.